We've arrived at episode 7 of Dragon Ball Daima, and it looks like things aren't going all that well for Bulma, Piccolo, and Vegeta either. At the end of the last episode, we saw Piccolo, Kibito, and Vegeta all get in the ship that Bulma had worked so hard to repair, and when they lifted off, it just fell back down to the ground. After examining the ship and trying to figure out what went wrong, Bulma discovers that there's a rock that is part of the energy converter of the ship that was damaged. And unfortunately, this rock appears not to be from Earth. And while Bulma does acknowledge to the others that there could be an element on the Earth she could use to replace this one, it would take forever to figure out which one it would be. So now the B team is stranded on Earth. They can't get to the Demon Realm. Except they can, because at this exact moment, Hybis has finally arrived at the lookout. While he explains to them that they've been summoned by the king of the third demon world, we cut back to Goku, who's enjoying a brand new snack. It's some kind of little dumpling that Ponzi said should fill you up with the equivalent of 2 full meals. And we all know how much Goku loves to eat, so of course he eats 2 of them, meaning he just ate 4 meals worth of food with 2 bites. Now he looks like a little butterball, and Ponzi says she tried to warn him, and at least Goku agrees with her because now he's starting to get full. Think about that. He just ate 4 meals worth of food, and now he's only starting to not be hungry anymore. Maybe in addition to being a Saiyan, Goku is part cow. Maybe he's got multiple stomachs. However, Goku's not able to enjoy this meal for long because the Gendarmerie, Goma's military police, have found their ship and are demanding they land for questioning. At first, everyone's trying to figure out how the police managed to track them down, but Ponzi points out it was probably through her collar. She explains to Goku that the reason why she has a collar on is that everyone in the third demon world is made to wear them. So the citizens of the third demon world effectively live under a police state where they can just track you down at any time, and apparently it even applies to the third demon world's royal family. However, Glorio suggests that if the Gendarmerie were aware that Goku was on the ship, they would have just attacked them without hesitation. So they go ahead and comply with the police, knowing that if they fought them, it would make things much worse. Glorio, Shin, and Ponzi all exit the ship, leaving Goku on board to hide, while the police go in and start looking through everything they've got, throwing all their stuff just out on the ground on the outside. Ponzi sees just how thorough they're being, and she's really worried that they're about to find Goku when, all of a sudden, Goku appears right behind her. He runs and hides in some nearby bushes while the police finish up their search, and Shin explains to Ponzi how teleportation works and how Goku just needs to be able to send somebody's ki in order to move to their exact location. Ponzi's really impressed with this technique from Goku, and she says it's just like magic, which only makes me wish they would at some point stop and explain what the difference is between manipulating ki and casting magic spells. Anyway, the police are done with their search now, and Glorio asks them if they can leave, but they want to take Ponzi with them. Turns out they're not just looking for Goku, they're also looking for the masked kid who threw a wasabi bomb at them when they were trying to take up gold coins from the civilians of that town earlier. Shin tries to lie to the police that Ponzi's been with him and Glorio all this time, but they ain't buying it. After one of the officers grabs Ponzi by the arm and tries to drag her back to their ship, arguing that a little bit of questioning will get her to crack, she just pulls out her taser and tases the guy, which completely blows her cover, but at this point it was either go ahead and fight back or get taken into custody and them finding you out anyway. Well, one cat is out of the bag now, so Glorio and Shin decide to take the fight to the police, and it's actually really nice to see a fight scene here, which, of course, it's just against these police peons again, but Goku's not involved in this one for the most part. We haven't seen Shin fight since the Majin Buu saga of Z, where Buu almost killed him. It's kind of sad that we really haven't seen Shin do much of anything in this whole series aside to just cast a magic spell that's useful at the moment and be the person to give Goku and Vegeta the Patara earrings later on. It's kind of easy to forget how powerful he really is supposed to be, because from the moment we were introduced to Shin and Kibito, they were in awe of how strong Gohan, Goku, and Vegeta were. It doesn't take long for him and Glorio to push back against the police and get them retreating, and Goku even gets one ki blast in for good measure. The group has once again exchanged one crisis for another. The police are temporarily off their backs, but going forward, Goku won't be the only one of them considered a fugitive. And while it was a bit of bad luck that the ship that they got from King Kaiden was destroyed in the fight, the gendarmerie left one of theirs behind, so they still have a way to get around. But Ponzi points out that as long as she's got that collar on, they'll be able to track her down no matter where they go. Then suddenly Shin asks Ponzi if he can take a look at her collar. It seems like he had his suspicions about how the collar was made, but he says that it appears that these things are made out of kachin or kachintite. This is that really, really hard metal that the Supreme Kai summoned for Goku and Gohan to use when practicing with the Z-Sword back in the Buu Saga. Shin says this metal is only found on planet Kaishin, and I'm not really sure if that's the same thing as the planet that's found in the sacred realm of the Kais, or if this is a planet that they all used to live on before some of them ending up becoming gods. More importantly, though, is that Shin believes it was his sister, Dr. Arensu, who made these collars, which is going to make her relationship with Glorio even more interesting and complicated. Ponzi then explains that ever since Dabura was the Supreme Demon King, everyone from the Third Demon World has been forced to wear those collars, or they end up being executed. There's no object that can be used to crush them. There's no magic that can be used to dispel them. These things are completely indestructible. Or so we thought. Shin just offers to take it off for her, citing that he's a gleaned just like his sister, so he should be able to figure out something. So he casts a spell, and the collar shatters to pieces. Although his explanation is a bit wonky though, because at first he's like, yeah, I can break this, I'm a gleaned just like my sister, and then he tells Ponzi that anyone can cast the spell that he used, so that kinda seems like somewhat of a contradiction. I still want to know more about the Gleaned as a whole. I want to know what makes Degasu and Arinsu so much different than Shin or any of the other Supreme Kais from the other universes. Maybe there's some kind of connection between Degasu and Arinsu that makes them similar to Zamasu was in the Goku Black arc. Ponzi, of course, wants to thank Shin for taking the collar off of her, and she asks him for his name because she never got it before. But what's interesting is that when Shin says, "My name is Shin," she says, well, okay, that's your outside world name, but what's your name for here? What was your original name? Shin tells her that his original name was Nahare, which makes me wonder why he would need to change his name in the first place. Maybe that's something we'll get later on in the show. Ponzi says that that's actually much more like a gleaned name than Shin was, and Goku even asks him if it's okay for him to start calling him that. There's a big missed opportunity here, which I think would have been a great little moment between these two characters, but I really wish that when Goku said, I'm going to start calling you Nahare then, I wish Shin would have responded with, okay, go right ahead, Kakarot. I don't know, I just feel like that may have established a little bit more of a connection between Shin and Goku, where these are both two characters who have names from their old homeworlds that they have maybe not necessarily completely abandoned, but they have embraced their new identities. I'm starting to wonder now if maybe Glorio and Ponzi will do the same thing that Vegeta does with Goku, where he still refers to him as Kakarot because they're both Saiyans. Well, they're from the demon world, and so is Shin, so they're just going to stick with calling him Nahare instead. Now that they don't have to worry quite so much about the police tailing them, they head off to the Tamagami. Meanwhile, Piccolo, Bulma, and Vegeta have arrived in the demon realm. But Goku's really impatient. He doesn't want to wait. He wants to get to the fight now. So they finally arrive in this little village where the Tamagami is standing on this platform, completely still. Of course, though, because this is Goku, he's hungry again, and he doesn't want to fight the Tamagami on an empty stomach. The Majin who's serving Goku his food tells the group that it's been about 20 years since anyone has actually challenged the Tamagami. Goku asks him what he's supposed to do in order to get the fight, and Majin just tells him to go issue a challenge. Ponzi adds, though, and I think this is pretty interesting, that she heard that even Dabura wasn't strong enough to take on the Tamagami. Now, we didn't get to really see a whole lot of Dabura during the Buu Saga. He was nowhere near as important a character as the Supreme Demon King should have been. But we do know that it was stated that he was somewhere near the same power level as Perfect Cell. Assuming that Dabura is somewhere around the same level of strength as the Super Saiyan 2, and this Tamagami is apparently even stronger than him, this could be a tough fight for Goku. Now, this could be a fun battle as well, because it looks like the Tamagami have very heroic personalities. At least this first one does. He didn't react at all when Goku and the others first arrived, but as soon as Goku started to challenge him, he came to life, started doing poses. I mean, he's got those Pride Trooper or Ginyu Force vibes going from him, so these Tamagami could be more entertaining enemies than we first thought they would be. But that's where this episode ends, and the next episode preview shows us that we're getting the Tamagami versus Goku, and that animation is looking really good. I can't wait to see the full episode. Plus, it looks like Glorio's going to make another phone call to Dr. Arinsu, and we're getting more Degasu and Goma as well. I really enjoyed this episode. It's nice to see Shin actually being a productive member of the team, because usually he's just kind of there and doesn't really do anything. We got to understand a little bit more what the gendarmerie really are doing, and we're about to get our first major battle of the arc with this first Tamagami, which is just named Tamagami number 3 because he has the 3-star Dragon Ball. I'm figuring that the strength of the Tamagami will be reflected in which of the demon worlds they reside in. Tamagami number 3 is probably going to be the 3rd strongest, Tamagami number 2 will be the 2nd strongest, and then Tamagami number 1 will be the strongest of the 3. What do you guys think? How do you feel about the way the demon world is being presented so far? Do you think that Goku will be able to defeat Tamagami number 3, or do you think somebody else might do it? Thanks for watching this video, I really appreciate it. If you want to support me and my channel, then hit that subscribe button and like this video. You can also become a member of the channel if you want to do that, or you can donate to my channel over on my Ko-fi page. Now, I'm going to go try that spell that Shin used to break Ponzi's collar because he said that anybody can use it. Pun Paka Pun! Oops.